Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. I am so excited to have you guys here today. We are going to be talking all about transforming templates. So let's go through the agenda. What are we going to be talking about during today's session? So we're going to be going through, first and foremost, what are smart files? So if you haven't had a chance to attend our orientation session that I lead on Tuesdays, no worries. We're going to go through some of the basics around what smart files are and what it means for your business. We'll also kind of briefly cover the difference between smart files and the old version of HoneyBook, what you used to be used to with legacy files. So kind of the difference there. We're also going to go through where to find your converted templates. So what happened to all your templates that you had before? Where do you find them? How can you elevate them? That's going to be really the main focus today is now that you have access to these new tools, the new builder, what does that mean for your current set of templates and how can you kind of level them up and make the most of your new tools? So that'll be a big chunk of our time today, really the main focus. And then we're also going to touch a little bit on the template gallery. If you have not had time to explore it yet, we're going to explore it today. And I will take you through all the steps that you need to consider when you are kind of transitioning your brand, your business into the templates that are available to you in the template gallery. How do you pick the right template for you? That kind of stuff. So super exciting. Let's get into it. First things first, I got to introduce myself. If we haven't met before, my name is Mac and I'm part of the product education team. I've been here since 2017, which is why I say if we haven't had the chance to meet yet, it's nice to meet you. I lead all of our webinars like this. So if you've come to one in the past, we've probably met before and it's good to see you again. This is all just to say I know the product like the back of my hand. So I'm your girl for making sure that you know how to make the most of your HoneyBook tools and how to really level up your business in partnership with the HoneyBook software. So that is my main goal. That's my main focus here. So if you're ever in the same room as me, that's our goal. Okay? So let's get started. What are smart files? What are we talking about here? I'm going to keep it super simple for you guys. If you have had the chance to get into the new builder yet, I can feel your energy through the screen, right? Like there is a chance that you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. Change is a little bit scary. New tools are a little bit scary. And especially when we give you the amount of customization, the amount of choice, which let's remember is a good thing. When you have that many options, sometimes it can feel a little scary. So let me break the ice and take the fear out of this situation. And we're going to focus on the idea that having autonomy in your business, having the option to make the choices for your business, to have that control, to take that power back is a good thing. So what are smart files? In the old world of HoneyBook, legacy files, things were relatively rigid, right? Your files could do 1 to 2 actions for the most part. The formatting is really set in stone. There was not much customization and it felt safe, probably. It was something you got familiar with and it felt really safe. So now with smart files, what we're doing is we're taking all of the functionality of your legacy files. So that includes questions, and we'll go through, I know I'm just showing slides right now, you guys, but we are going to go into more details. This is just where we're going to kind of level set. Okay. So it includes questions, invoicing, contracting, content, images. We're adding video, little teaser for you. So there are more tools in addition to what you had before, but they can all exist in one place. Okay. So what does this mean? We've taken the formatting restrictions out of this. We've taken the action and content restrictions out of this. Now with one single powerhouse file, one smart file, you might call it, you can do any and all of the actions and things you could do in a single file in HoneyBook in yesterday's world. Okay, hopefully that's kind of making sense. I think it'll make more sense once we actually dive into the product and I can show you a little bit more. But the idea here is if you had a place in your process, perhaps a bottleneck or a slowdown or a pause that didn't need to be there in your client interaction, now with smart files, you have the opportunity to combine those steps into one file or one client interaction, right? So smart files can do anything you need them to do. The reason they're called smart files kind of generically, which might, feel a little confusing, but it doesn't have to be. It can do anything you tell it to do. So if it is a smart file with the main intention of invoicing your clients, it's just an invoice. Okay, so don't get tripped up on that. It is a file that can do whatever you need it to do. It is defined by what you tell it to do. Simple as that. Okay, great time to identify bottlenecks or pauses in your business that don't need to be there so you can create a completely seamless and beautifully customized experience for your clients. Okay, let's dive in a little bit more. There is a hierarchy here that I want to kind of break down and explain for you guys, just so while we're going through it, you're kind of understanding even some of the terminology that I'm using. Okay, so first and foremost, we've got our templates. Again, we are going to get into the product in a couple minutes, so you will be able to see what I'm talking about. I've just got some screenshots here to help kind of level set us. Okay, so we're starting with templates. This is something we're familiar with, the idea of templates. This is a document that has gotten us right up to the edge of our client-specific interactions, okay? How much work can you do ahead of time before you get into client-specific info? That's what a template is gonna do for you, so you're never having to type anything from scratch. That's the idea behind templates, okay? So you've got your templates living up at the top of the hierarchy. The next in the process here, or the next in the hierarchy here, is gonna be pages. So once you're inside of a Smart Files template, you've got your pages. Okay, and your pages are going to contain different pieces of content that are displayed in blocks. Okay, so it's a visual builder. If you use something like Squarespace or one of those web designers, you'll be familiar with the idea of a visual builder. If you don't, it's fine. That's what we're going to go through today. Okay, so this is kind of our hierarchy here. We've got templates. Within our templates, we have pages. Within the pages, we have blocks. Okay, so let's go through the block options that you have. When you go to add a block, this is where those kind of familiar actions or pieces of content come into our hemisphere, okay? We've got text, we've got questions. So this is going to be similar to our previous questionnaire functionality, right? We've got the ability to add images. We can add video. I know I already teased to this, but very exciting because this is a very new feature. You can add a divider, which is basically like a spacer in there. So if you're finding yourself hit enter a bunch of times, don't do it, just add a divider. We've got the company info block. So that's going to pull from your company settings. It's going to include your logo, business name, contact information, social links, whatever you need it to contain. And then we've got different layouts. So this is going to be a quick and easy way to pull in pre-formatted versions of text, images, content, questions, that kind of thing. Okay, and of course we have our familiar actions that we know and love. We've got the ability to select services, so you can display services to your clients so they can select what they are interested in receiving from you. We've got contracts, so they can review your agreements, fill out any fields you've left for them, and sign. And then we've got invoice and pay. Okay, so those are the blocks. So again, the hierarchy, we've got templates. Inside the template, we've got pages. And inside those pages, we have different blocks. And we can have as many blocks, as many pages as we need to get the job done, so long as it's one client interaction. It's one file, right? Anytime you send a file, they're going to have access to all of the information in that file. So you need to ask yourself, what do you need the client to see or do when they open that document? Okay, hopefully this is starting to come together. One final thing here, within each block, we have elements, okay? Now, what do elements mean? What does this look like? So we've got, in this example, we have 2 image elements, and then we've got a text element in the middle here. Just one more example to kind of drive it home. This is another content block here, and it's showing us that we've got a text, we've got a divider, and then another text. Okay, so within your blocks, you could have something that's a really long block. It has multiple services or things like that. Or you could have something that's really simple like this. It's just got a couple text lines. And this is just one block within a page. Okay, I know I've spent a lot of time going through kind of that level setting of like, what are we talking about here? What does this look like? So it's time to kind of get into the product and explore a little bit more. how you can use these converted templates, what this is going to look like for your business. So when we come into our master template section here now that we have smart files, it's going to be looking a little bit different. Okay, so probably the first question you're asking is, I had all these templates before. You're calling them legacy files. Where did they all go? How do I find what I'm familiar with, what I used to use for my business? Very, very straightforward, you guys. All of your files, all of your templates have the same name. And depending on what actions those files were intended for your client to complete, we have filters up here too. Okay, so if you're looking for a questionnaire document, you're going to click all right here. So I'm looking at all of my templates, all of my files, whether they're legacy files, smart files, all of them have been transitioned in already. So if I want to find a questionnaire, I can click the question filter here, and it's going to show me all of my documents, all of my smart files that contain a question element, just a single question element. So if when you transition to smart files to the new builder, all of your old templates were transitioned in. So this is the way you can find your questionnaires that you used to have in the legacy templates now in the new builder. So you're looking for questions, and then really quickly you can find the one that you're looking for based off of the name. Okay, so that's going to be the first step here, is just relying on those filters and the template names. Okay, and now when you're approaching templates in HoneyBook and you're wanting to kind of elevate them or take advantage of more of the tools that you have in the new builder, there are a couple different ways you can approach it. Okay, the first way you can approach it, and I'm going to put this out there, you don't have to change anything. You can do exactly what you were doing before. You're just going to be sending a slightly new version of the same file. So if you don't have time, if you don't have energy, if you're having a rough day, rough year, whatever, you don't have to change anything. So do not let this stress you out. If you had your process in HoneyBook and you're like, why fix what's not broken, Mac? I don't want to do it. You don't have to. You don't have to. You can do exactly what you were doing yesterday. However, you're here at this webinar, so I'm hoping you're looking for a little bit of change. You're hoping to hop on the bandwagon with me, and we're going to go on a little ride here and figure out how you can elevate what you were doing yesterday with the new tools, right? Like you're looking for maybe a way to improve your business, save a little time, give your clients a better experience. That's what we're going to talk through today, okay? So first step, you don't have to change anything. If you don't want to, you don't have to. The next step is we can elevate it a little bit. We can do some easy, quick fixes. Okay, so I'm going to spend some time in this realm today going through the easy, quick fixes so you can start to use some of the new tools without so much of a time investment. Okay, so what are the quick things that you can do in one or two files that will start to help you feel like you're taking more use of the tools that you have available now, and maybe level up your client experience a little bit, maybe help you set some expectations a little bit better, maybe make them feel like you're having a really personal interaction. Where can you afford to make some of those changes? Okay. So that's kind of the second area we can live in. And I want to encourage you guys to kind of all at least live in this space, right? Make some of those easy changes today. I will be going back to the slides at some point. And when I do that, I'm going to give you a list of the easy, quick fixes. So if you're a note taker, feel free to take the notes, but I will be putting a slide up at some point that you can just screenshot if that's easier for you. So I got your back. So that's one area we can live in, right? And then we're going to push the needle a little bit. I'm going to challenge you guys today, and we're going to explore some options of some more dramatic, slightly more time-consuming ways that you can invest your time to improve your business, get time back, increase your revenue, give your clients the best experience they've ever had, and really blow things out of the water. Okay, so we're gonna kind of explore the full breadth of what you can do with these new tools when it comes to building the templates that are going to work the best for your business. Okay. And I'm really just going to be exploring the how-tos today of some of these constructs. We're going to go into some deeper dives in some of our sessions going forward. So For example, if you're really like, I can't wait to learn about services and I want to learn how to build like the best booking flow ever for my clients, we're really going to focus on booking in one of our later sessions. So after today's webinar, it's going to like bump you out to that landing page so you can register for the following session. So if that's something you want to learn about, you want to focus on booking, we're going to do a full hour-long deep dive into that. We'll do one on automation. So there's all kinds of deeper dives in there. Today, we're going to do really basic, high-level how-to of elevating your existing templates with the new tools, whether that's those quick fixes or kind of pushing the envelope a little bit more and having some really strategic thought experiment options around how you can improve your process using these new tools. Okay, let's get into it. So easy quick fixes, first and foremost, is really just going to be the visual elements that you can change and improve. So let's start with this proof. Okay, so this is an old brochure that I had that is now converted into into the new builder, and I can make adjustments here. So right off the bat, to me, this text is a little bit hard to read. So one of the quick fixes that I'm going to make is I'm going to just adjust the opacity of this background image. So I can click into it. Maybe that was a little fast. So once you click into the content block, let me rewind for a sec. When you are inside of the builder, right? So we're exploring this hierarchy now in real time. We are inside of a template, we are inside of a page, and I have clicked into a piece of content. I'm in a block. When you click a block, or even a page for that matter, this settings menu on the right-hand side, this is going to be your home base anytime you're in HoneyBook's visual builder, in the new builder, setting up a file. Okay, so as you click into different things, this menu over here is going to dynamically change depending on what you're clicked on so that you have access to the proper settings and things that you're trying to adjust. Okay, so I'm clicked into this content block and we can see that the background image is here. I'm going to click into that and I'm going to adjust the opacity so that this is a little bit easier to read. And actually, maybe I want to change this text color as well. I'm going to set it to black, so that it's really easy to read, okay? And now that looks much cleaner right off the bat, just even that simple customization, okay? So quick tips for transitioning into the new builder, easy fixes you can make are really just gonna be visual changes. So first and foremost, we can look at the theme of this document and the branding of this document. So first and foremost, the easiest thing you can do today, actually, when you leave today's session, here's what I want you to do. I want you to not start in the template section. I want you to come over to your company settings. I want you to scroll down, and I want you to arrive at this company smart file theme section, and I want you to click this customize company theme button. This is going to open up the theme settings so that every file you make from scratch going forward is going to default to have these settings, these fonts, these colors, these buttons. So it's really all about the kind of formatting that you want your HoneyBook files to default to. Not only will it do that for brand new files, but it creates a standard that you can then blanket over any old files that you have. And a little teaser, when we get into the template gallery later on, it'll help you blanket your branding over other templates that you find in the template gallery. Okay, so first and foremost, I want you to start with your company theme. Now, when I get back into my template, so we're going to go back to our proofing document that we were checking out here once it loads. And then it'll be really easy for me to apply my company theme. So I'm going to click my artist palette up here, and I'm going to apply my company theme. It actually looks like it's already applied, but I'm going to apply it. Now we're good to go. Okay, so that is the first and foremost easiest way to get all of your files looking the same, feeling the same, branded for you. So start in your company settings, setting that up, and then you can apply it to any of the files that have already been transitioned over. Okay. The next thing we can go through here is adding a block, and we're going to focus on adding the company info block. This is a great block to have as a header on any of your pages, okay? And you can choose the layout that works best for you. I tend to be a little partial to this just like center aligned option. So I think this looks good. And I'm going to just keep this as a header in my document. And I'm going to add this consistently throughout my pages just to get everything looking branded and super clean, super nice, and to give kind of a consistent feel to all of my pages here. Okay, that's one really quick, easy way. So company theme is the first, adding your company info block is another. The third one here is going to be around adding images. So kind of already touched on this a little bit in where we could, adjust the opacity of existing images, but you have so much customization now to add imagery, whether it be just an image block to, showcase your work, show a photo of you so it feels really personal, like you're grabbing coffee, whatever it might be. Adding imagery is a really compelling way to keep your clients engaged in the file that you've shared with them, especially now because your files can do so much. Adding imagery is a really simple way to keep your client engaged and not just looking at a plain white page. So you have the ability to do that now. So one example, we can add image blocks, right? So we can add a block and add an image. We've already kind of explored how to do that, but all these layouts are going to come up. So maybe we want to do a full-on image grid and we want to have a bunch of these. Maybe we're going to have kind of a mood board going on here, right? So there's different ways we can kind of play around with our options for adding images. Okay, so that's one example. Another example is having a background image. Okay, so you'll notice as I'm scrolling in this long contract, the image in the background is staying static. Now, the way that I've done this is next to the page, you've got a gear icon, and you can set a page background image really simply. So I already have one here, but if I remove it, you can go in, you can hit choose, and it's going to open your library. You can upload a new one if you need to, but if you already have it in your library like I do, you can scroll down, select it, and adjust the opacity. Again, to help with the readability of text, perhaps. I think here it's fine because it's always going to be backlayed behind the contract. So it's actually fine to leave the opacity at 100% for me. And it just makes it a little bit more engaging. Maybe it's a little bit more branded for me, and this feels right. Okay, so adding your company theme, adding your company info block, adding imagery. Another option here that, so again, we're just talking quick fixes right now, ways you can easily and quickly get these templates up to speed, level them up, and start using some of the new tools to level up your client experience, potentially save some time. The next one we're going to be talking about here is adding pages or even splitting pages up. Okay, so when your legacy files, your old files were transitioned into the new builder, they're going to be set up as, maybe not the perfect pages that you want them to be. So how do you get them to be set up in the way that you want them to be? So for example, this was my brochure, and it's coming up with my questions on the same page as my images. And maybe I don't like that. Maybe I want my images on one page and my questions on another. The best recommendation that I can give you guys on how to split things up into multiple pages, what you'll do, or what I'd recommend you do, is come over to the page where that content lives that you want to kind of split up or break down. You're going to click the 3-dot icon and you're going to hit duplicate. Now you've got a copy of the first page, and you're just going to delete the blocks that you don't want. So if we wanted to just remove our images and just leave our questions, now we've just got our question page. Okay. And then maybe we're going to retitle this. Always make sure you give your next pages a title. Okay. So that is a really quick, easy way. And then obviously on the first page, I would delete the questions so that I don't have a bunch of repeat information. And now you've got everything nicely split up the way that you like it to be split up, okay? So that's how you can split pages. Another option is obviously adding pages. So if you wanted to, for example, combine some of your steps, which actually we're going to get into in a little bit. But you can add pages in terms of like a welcome or an introductory page. Now you have the option to do that, right? So if you wanted to introduce them to your process, say you're sending a proposal and you want to kind of set the expectation like, hey, here's what you can do with this file. Maybe you want to add a welcome page. Or after they submit payment, for example, so in this document, we've got contract invoice payment, we want to add a page that just simply says thank you. So you can, first off, when you go to add a page, it's going to show you all of your templates that you already have saved and give you the ability to pull in pages from those other documents. So all of your blocks and all of your pages that are already in templates are saved as reusable things. So when you go to add a page or go to add a block, first and foremost, HoneyBook is going to show you what you've already built elsewhere so that you can repurpose it in this document. So if I already had a thank you page that I like to include in all of my invoices, all of my documents that collect payment, and I wanted to repurpose it here, I could easily grab it, which I actually know that I do have. You would just want to pop in and grab that. Let me see if I can remember which one it is. Great. So you've got a thank you page right here, and you can easily pull that in. So you could pull it in from another one, or you could just add it from scratch, and it would be a really quick process too. But once you've done it once, if you wanted to then take this thank you page, right, and repurpose it again and again and again and add it to all your invoices, it would be really easy to do. Okay, so that is kind of my fourth piece of advice there is going to be either splitting up pages from your old files or adding new pages. So kind of introducing them to what the purpose of this file is a great opportunity. It's really important to set expectations with your clients at the beginning of something and at the end of something, right? And that's what these smart files are doing. It's one client interaction. So introducing them to what they're doing here. What is this file? Why are they receiving this from you? What do you hope from them? That kind of thing. Setting those expectations at the beginning is really, really important. And then capping it off with even a simple thank you is wonderful, but I think it's a really good opportunity even to set next steps. So maybe this page, thank you so much for choosing our services. We'll be in touch soon with next steps. You could say that, or you could say, thank you so much for submitting payment. Here are the next steps. Like from here, next time I see you will be for our photo shoot, or, just really taking the opportunity, taking the time, taking this new tool as an opportunity to set expectations with your clients and make sure that you guys are all on the same page. This is going to cut down on time on your side, having to answer repeat questions, having to, answer for client confusion. When is this happening? Where are we at? Did you get my payment? Those kinds of things. This is going to really help answer for that. So this is where you can start to elevate that client experience and save some time with something as simple as adding a thank you page or adding a page that sets expectations with them, whether that's at the beginning or the end of a file. It's a great time to do that. Okay. My final quick, easy tip here is adjusting the text of buttons. So every page, you'll notice, has a button prompting the client to continue on through the process. It's going to default to say next, but if it makes more sense for you on any given page to have it say something else, all you have to do is click up into that top banner and adjust the button text to say whatever you need it to say. So let's say, this is our payment page. Maybe we want this to say finished or done, probably a better one. You can set that up here. Okay, so you can always adjust the buttons to kind of help, again, make it compelling for your client and keep them going through the process of going through those pages with you. Okay, so this is what we were just talking about. I'm going to go through really quickly this slide, introducing us to the kind of 5 quick tips that you can use for getting set up. Okay, so we talked about setting your company theme. You can do that in your company settings. And then it'll be a blanket of branding that you can apply to all of your files that were transitioned into the new builder. We've got company info blocks. You can add that as a header or a footer on all of your pages, or maybe just more of your like legal pages, like a contract or an invoice page, to make it feel really official. That's an easy, quick one to add in. Image blocks, whether it be a simple image block or a background image, those are good options, again, to make your document really compelling and keep your client engaged as they're going through it. The fourth one here is the idea of adding pages, whether that's splitting up content that you already had in the legacy files that have been transitioned into the new builder, or adding a new thank you page, a setting expectations page, a welcome page. It's a great, great time, great way to invest your time, really, to level up your process a little bit and really make sure your clients are getting that perfect experience with you and you're putting your best foot forward. And then the final one here is customizing buttons. Okay, so what next? What if you're looking for something a little bit more? This is what we're going to go into. This is going to be kind of our bigger chunk of time that we spend today, is going through really like those, slightly more time consuming, but really worth your time process changes that you can consider now that you have access to tools like this. Okay, so now that you have these tools, how can you consider implementing some of them? Yes, maybe it'll change your process a little bit, but it'll change it for the better. What are some of those things that we can look at? Okay, so the first option that we've got here is we can set up a redirect URL at the end of any of your files. So what does this mean? How do you set it up? When you're inside of a template, you'll see this gear icon. And when you click that, it's going to open the settings of the file. So you've got things like the title and thumbnail here. So this is where you can set the thumbnail image that shows not only in your My Template section, so you can easily find what you're looking for, but it'll also show in the client's email if you choose it to. You can adjust this. So that's where you can set up that. This is where you can adjust the security code. So you can say, do you want the security code to be on or off? We highly recommend, if you're sending a file that has a contractual element or an invoicing element, to have the security turned on. It's just going to be one of those quick, like, we just emailed you a 5-digit code, come back and enter that so you can verify your identity. It just makes sure that everything is really legally sound and the right person is getting access to the information that you've sent. So we highly recommend having that on. If you're opposed to it and you don't want your client to go through that extra step, you already trust them, whatever, you can toggle it off here. And then now we're down to the redirect URL that I was just talking about. So this is where you can really kind of challenge yourself today to rethink your process a little bit and say, where can, in my process, I redirect my client to a web page? So after they've completed this one client interaction in this one file that I've created, after they've completed this task that I need them to do I want to send them somewhere? Do I want to give them access to some kind of information that I have on a web page? So for example, this could link out to your HoneyBook scheduling tool. If you wanted them to go through this process of reviewing your services, signing a contract, paying the invoice, and then submitting it to you, and now they get rerouted to your scheduling tool so they can book their kickoff call with you, that would be amazing, right? So now we're really consolidating this process and streamlining at a level that we never have before. That's just one example. Maybe another example is you sell a course and they go through that same process. They choose the course, they pay for the course, and they submit that invoice to you, and then it redirects them to the gated page where they can access the course they just paid for. I'm just throwing out some examples here. You guys know your process way better than I do. Obviously, everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different, but that's just one example of how you can consider updating your process slightly to use some of the new tools you have access to. Okay, so you can redirect them somewhere if you'd like to, and that's kind of a little bit leveled up thing that you can do to improve your process and make, a process change. Really, it's not just a quick fix at this point. It's really kind of a process change to streamline even further. Okay, so that's our first one there. The other one that I want to talk through is the use of video. Okay, obviously, I'm so excited that this is an option for you guys. You can add a block where you have a video element. Okay, and it's giving me a couple different formats here, but when I go to add a video, it's going to show me the URL. You can set up the controls if you want it to be on an autoplay, if you want it to loop, and then the alignment of the video itself. So how can you consider using video for your business? You can, in your onboarding document, in your welcome document, take this as an opportunity to introduce yourself. You can have it start playing automatically. So as soon as your client opens the file, you're there waving, welcoming them in, so excited to work with them. They get to see your face, they get to see your emotion. And all of a sudden, even though everyone who inquires gets this file, they feel so welcomed. They feel like they're getting a totally custom, personalized experience. This is one big takeaway I want you guys to have after today's session. This is kind of a little blurb that I've been throwing out there. Just because I know you guys are hesitant to combine steps to this extent. I hear it all the time. People are concerned that it's going to be overwhelming to the client or they're going to lose a personal touch. You built your business on the fact that you love doing what you do. And part of that is the people you get to do it for. So there's an element there that you want to hold on to. Just because something is personalized doesn't mean it has to be unique every time. Okay, especially at the inquiry stage. Someone's just reaching out. They don't have any skin in the game yet. How much time, I want you guys to ask yourself this, how much time are you as a business owner willing to spend on someone who hasn't paid you a penny yet, who doesn't have any skin in the game? You can create a completely personalized, loving, wonderful, welcoming way of getting them the information they need that sends automatically. They inquire, they get this file automatically. You're waving on the other side. It's like you guys are having coffee together, but on your end, you haven't had to do anything. Just because it's personalized doesn't mean it has to be unique, okay? Put that in your bonnet today. I hope that encourages you all. That's one example of a way to use video. Another way to use it is on your services page. Maybe in your document where you are essentially selling your services to a client. So let me actually show you an example of a template that I have that is a really cool option for that. I'm actually going to be showing you a template that is from the template gallery. So this is one option. So we've got a page introducing myself, introducing my business. I'm setting expectations with my client on the second page here. Here's how it's going to go. Here's what you can expect from me. We've got this 5-step onboarding process. Here's how it's going to work. Here's how we stay organized and how we communicate. My business hours, don't reach out, not in my business hours, right? You're setting expectations. You're making sure that you and your client are on the same page. You're going to share some client love, some testimonials. You're really buttering this up. You're selling yourself. They're excited to get started with you. They trust you. You have your stuff together. They're going through frequently asked questions. You're reading their minds. These are the questions that they had. And then finally, they're getting to the services page where you're outlining the different services that you have. Okay, these pictures are gorgeous. She's done a great job here of setting these up. And then we have the option to select what we're moving forward with. How much more compelling, however, would this be if in between each service, we had a video with a client talking about what it was like to receive that service, or better yet, a video of yourself explaining what the service is like, what it includes, the time investment, the money investment, and some of your success stories from other clients who have done this. Okay, Veronica needs this exact template. I'm going to show you where to find it in the template gallery in just a little bit. Okay, so a couple different ways to use video. We can welcome our clients. We can sell our services. We can share client testimonials. We can showcase our work. Maybe you're a videographer. Maybe you're a venue and you want to show your space. There's so many different ways we can use this. Don't be shy to use video. Yes, it will be a little bit of a time investment, but mostly because maybe you don't have that video asset yet and you need to invest the time in making it. Once you have it, you can plug it in where you need to in the HoneyBook file. Okay, cool. Those are just a couple options. The final piece here, and I'm going to go back to my slide deck just to give you guys this resource. You can take a screenshot if you need to. These are kind of our leveled up, slightly more time consuming, but worth the investment ways to elevate your templates with the new tools. The final bit here, and you guys, this is probably going to be the most time consuming because it involves you really reflecting on your process. How and where can you identify bottlenecks, pauses in your business, unnecessary, essentially wastes of time in your process? Where can you afford to combine steps, save yourself time, save your clients time? Okay. So the thought experiment I want you guys all to do today is I want you to sit in your client's shoes for 1 second. And I want you to envision your process from the client's side. Anytime they have their laptop open, their phone open, and they're receiving something from you, how many of those steps can you combine so that everything they need to have happen is happening at once? Okay. Let's say you like your clients to fill out a questionnaire to kick things off after they've submitted payment. Okay. And in previous world, it's tricky, right? Because even this process doesn't exist anywhere else. So it's inevitably going to be work for all of us because files like this don't exist. You can't, build an interactive PDF that collects information, spits out an invoice and a contract that all dynamically updates. Like, this doesn't exist anywhere else. So you are inevitably going to want to update your process to match the tools that you now have access to. You now get that control, that autonomy back, rather than the program of HoneyBook or a system or anything telling you how to run your business. You now need to take some time to say, what does my business look like? What does my process look like? How can I really take advantage of these new tools? Invite my clients into how I operate. How do I own and run this well-oiled machine? How can I set up these tools and systems so that when my clients come into interaction with me, they feel safe, they feel like they can trust me, I'm saving time, and every time they're interacting with me, one sitting, right? So that's the thought experiment. In one sitting, how much can your clients do? And that's what you want to set up a smart file to complete. Okay. I don't even really have ways of being able to show you examples of this aside from how to combine legacy files. So one option for that is to, locate the two files that you'd like to combine. So for example, if you like your clients to pay the invoice, so let's say you used to send a proposal, wait for your client to submit that payment, and then you would send a questionnaire file. You can combine those steps now, right? Because you were just kind of waiting for payment to be submitted before you allowed them access to those questions. So now you can combine those two files. So what does that look like in HoneyBook now that you have this new builder? So what you'll do is you would find, for example, the proposal that you wanted to add the questions to. This is a great example because I've already added an intro that says, hey, here's what you can expect from this document. And then I have my simple, familiar contract page, invoice page, payment page, and I've added a thank you. But maybe before the thank you page, I want to add my questionnaire that I send to kick off the process with all my clients. So what I can do is I can pop in. When I add a page, it's going to ask me, do you already have a template that has that page? And in my head, I know I do. So I want to filter for questions. And I'm going to find my questionnaire that I used to send to kick this off. Okay. And obviously, maybe I need to adjust some things here now to get it up to speed, looking the way I want. Maybe I'm going to add my company info block like we talked about. And then maybe I'm going to take it a step further and elevate it by adding that background image like we talked about. And right away, really quickly, I've built this completely custom document that now combines my steps. Okay, make sure they're in the right order. But that's one quick way that you can combine some of those steps. Okay, that's kind of the final piece here is where can you identify those bottlenecks and save time. Okay, I am running over time. Really quickly, I want to go through the template gallery. Everything we just talked through about elevating your templates can apply to the template gallery too. Okay, so what am I talking about with this template gallery? It lives over here up in your tools and templates section. This template gallery has tons of templates and we're adding new stuff all the time. So how do you find the template that's right for you? We've got filters, so we can filter by the type of file that it is. Remember, Smart Files can do anything, so you get to define what type of file it is. Is it a brochure file? You get to say, is it a contract? Is it an invoice? It can do as much or as little as you tell it to do. So that's all you need to know. It really is as simple as that. So you can find the type of document file you're looking for that way. Or you can say, hey, this is my industry. What industry specific templates do you have for me? So that's how you find the right template for you. Even further, once you filter those things down, you can scroll for a while, find one that catches your eye, and it'll let you scroll through the entire first page to make sure it looks good and like something you'd like to use. Then you can do a quick save, which will keep you in the template gallery, but it's just going to throw this into your template section so you can go back and find it later. Or you can jump right into editing this. Okay, and when you go into editing the template, this is where you can start to use some of those tools that we were talking about. So right away, you can apply your company theme, for example, right? So we've got this template theme in here right now, but I want to apply my company theme instead. And we're going to go ahead and tie that in. You can replace text, replace images, replace any company info. So obviously I'm not Candace Coppola. I need to update this to have my branding instead. Maybe this background image doesn't quite, or the background color doesn't quite match my branding. So I want to adjust it to match my branding instead. So you'll want to replace text, replace images, add company info block, add any pages, all of the same stuff that we just talked about. How you can elevate your old templates, you can apply to the template gallery as well. Okay, that was really everything. I'm just checking my notes here, making sure I'm not missing any perfect tips for you guys. That was really everything I wanted to talk through. As a reminder, again, the pages and the blocks are reusable, so you can always pull those into existing templates that you want to transition in or any templates from the template gallery. Okay, I really, really hope this was helpful. Thank you guys so much for sticking around, and hopefully we'll see you next time.